Be me, 44, HR director at manufacturing company in Ohio. Been here 8 years. Worked my way up from HR generalist. Company employs 800 people, mix of office and factory workers. About 600 are blue-collar factory floor, mostly men. 200 are office staff, management, administration. I'm responsible for all HR policies, training, culture initiatives. Proud of progressive changes I've implemented. Mandatory diversity training, inclusion workshops. Updated harassment policies, equity initiatives. Made this company more modern, more aware. CEO supports my vision, gives me free rein. Board loves the optics, the awards we've won. Best place to work for women in manufacturing. Top 50 most inclusive employers. PR department showcases our culture transformation. Meanwhile, I know there's resistance on factory floor. The older guys, the lifers who've been here 30 years. They complain about the training, roll their eyes. Call it PC nonsense. Say it's not the real world. Typical resistance to change from men who benefit from old ways. This month, we're doing quarterly town hall meeting. Whole company gathers. I present HR updates. Usually boring. People half listen, leave early. This time I'm excited. Have big announcement. New initiative I've been working on for months. Equity in Leadership Development Program. Specifically designed to fast-track women and minorities into management positions they've been excluded from. Town hall is in the main cafeteria, packed with employees. Office workers sit up front, engaged and professional. Factory workers fill the back in their work clothes. Some just came off shift, look tired and dirty. CEO introduces me. I take the microphone. Thank you all for being here today. I'm excited to announce a major new initiative. Pull up PowerPoint. First slide shows program name. Equity in Leadership Development Program. This will identify and develop underrepresented talent. Women and minorities who have been systematically held back. Click to next slide showing statistics. Currently, our management is 87% white and 91% male, despite our workforce being much more diverse. This program will correct that imbalance. Some nodding from office workers, silence from factory floor. We'll identify high potential women and minority employees. Provide them with mentorship, training, and accelerated promotion. Goal is 50% women in management within 3 years. More details about the program, the timeline, the resources. Office workers seem engaged, taking notes. Factory workers are shifting, murmuring, exchanging looks. Finished presentation, open for questions. Anyone have questions about the program? Hands go up from office section, I call on them. Softball questions, supportive comments, enthusiasm. Then a hand goes up from the back, factory worker section. Older guy, maybe 50s, wearing company uniform covered in grease. Haven't seen him at these meetings before. Yes, go ahead, I call on him. He stands up, everyone turns to look. I'm Tony, I work in the machine shop, been here 27 years. His voice is rough, sounds tired. I got a question about this program. Of course, what would you like to know? He looks at his coworkers, then back at me. How come this program only for women and minorities? What about the guys who've been working here for decades? Who've been busting their asses, doing good work, but get passed over because they're the wrong gender or color? Feel defensive immediately. This is typical resistance. Tony, this program addresses historical imbalances. Women and minorities have faced systemic barriers. This levels the playing field so everyone has equal opportunity. He doesn't sit down, keeps standing. Equal opportunity would be everyone considered on merit. This ain't equal. This is discrimination the other direction. Murmurs of agreement from factory workers around him. It's not discrimination, it's equity. There's a difference between equality and equity. Another worker stands up, younger guy, maybe 30s. I'm Mike. I've been here 8 years. Maintenance supervisor. Can I ask something about equity? Go ahead, I say, try and maintain control. You talk a lot about equity and inclusion in these trainings. About making sure everyone feels valued and safe. But do you know what it's like on the factory floor? Not sure where he's going with this. I visit the floor regularly, yes. Do you though? Or do you just walk through sometimes? Do you know what we actually do down there? Feel challenged, authority being questioned. I'm familiar with operations, yes. Mike looks around at his co-workers. We work 10-hour shifts, sometimes 12s when there's overtime, in heat that reaches 105 degrees in summer, with machinery that could kill us if we make one mistake. He's getting emotional now, voice rising. We breathe in chemicals, metal dust, fumes every day. Wear protective gear that's uncomfortable as hell. Risk hearing loss, back injuries, crushed hands. This factory has sent 15 guys to the hospital this year alone. The number shocks me. Didn't know it was that many. That's why we have safety protocols, safety training. Tony stands back up, speaks before I can continue. You know what last month's mandatory training was about? What we had to spend 4 hours on instead of working. Unconscious bias and microaggressions. He says it with barely concealed anger. We sat in a room being told we're all unconsciously racist and sexist. Being told the way we talk is problematic. Being told we make women uncomfortable just by existing, while our brothers are getting hurt on the floor, because we're short-staffed, because we spent half a shift in your training. The factory workers are nodding, clear agreement. Safety is our top priority, I defend. Is it though? Mike challenges. Because from where I'm standing, diversity training is the priority. Making sure we use the right pronouns is the priority. Making sure we don't tell jokes that might offend someone is the priority. Another worker stands, older black man, maybe 60s. I'm James. I've been working here 32 years. Started on the floor, worked up to shift supervisor. I nod, ready for him to support my position. I'm curious about something, Ms. Rodriguez. You say this program is for people who look like me, for minorities who've been held back. Yes, exactly, to provide opportunities that haven't been available. James looks around at the factory workers. I started here in 1991, was the only black man on my line. Worked alongside these white guys you say are privileged. We all started at $8 an hour, all did the same hard work. He pauses, making sure I'm listening. Nobody handed me nothing because I'm black. Nobody held me back because I'm black either. I got promoted because I showed up, worked hard, learned the job. Same as everyone else. Same as all these guys. Points to the workers around him. These guys you call privileged. You know what their privilege is. Working till their bodies break down. Missing their kids' school events because of mandatory overtime. Breathing in shit that's going to give them cancer in 20 years. For $22 an hour and benefits that keep getting cut. The room is completely silent now. Everyone listening. You sit up in that office making what, $120,000, $150,000. Talking about equity and inclusion. While we're down there in 105-degree heat. Risking our lives to make the products that pay your salary. Feel my face getting hot. This is getting out of control. James, I understand the work is difficult. That's exactly why we need to make sure everyone has opportunity to move into better positions, safer roles. Tony speaks up again, still standing. Like this program you're announcing. That's going to promote less qualified people over more qualified ones. Just because of their gender or skin color. More murmurs of agreement from the back. That's not what the program does. It identifies qualified candidates who've been overlooked. Mike jumps back in. Overlooked by who? We got 3 supervisors on our line. 2 are women, 1's Hispanic. They got promoted because they earned it. Nobody overlooked them. They were qualified and got the job. He looks around the room. But now you're saying we need special programs to make sure more women get promoted. Even if guys with more experience and better performance don't. Another worker stands, younger woman this time. I'm Sarah. I work quality control, been here 5 years. Finally, a woman speaking. Expect her to support me. Ms. Rodriguez, I appreciate that you want to help women, but I don't want to be promoted because of a program. I want to be promoted because I earned it, because I'm the best person for the job. This catches me completely off guard. This program doesn't diminish your qualifications. It just ensures you get fair consideration. She shakes her head, looks frustrated. But that's the thing. I already get fair consideration. My supervisor judges me on my work, not my gender. If I get promoted now, everyone will think it's because of this program, not because I actually deserved it. Other women in the factory section are nodding. This is not going how I expected at all. Tony speaks again. He seems to be the unofficial spokesman. Can I tell you what it's like for us down there? What your policies have actually done to the culture? Don't want to hear it, but can't shut him down in front of everyone. Go ahead. He looks at the other workers. They're all watching him. We used to have a good crew, looked out for each other. Didn't matter if you were black, white, Mexican, woman, whatever. If you showed up and did the work, you were part of the team. Pauses, choosing words carefully. Now everything's a potential HR problem. Guy can't tell a joke without worrying it'll get reported. Can't give constructive criticism to a woman without being accused of sexism. Can't mention that someone's struggling without it being discrimination. Mike adds, we had a good worker, Maria, been on our line 3 years. Started having attendance issues, showing up late. Her supervisor, another woman by the way, talked to her about it. Tried to help her get back on track. He looks directly at me. Maria reported her supervisor for discrimination. Said she was being targeted for being Latina. Turned out she was just going through divorce, having a rough time. But instead of talking to her supervisor, she weaponized your policies. Tony continues, that supervisor, good woman, 15 years here. Got investigated, put through hell for months. Ended up quitting because she couldn't take it anymore. Now nobody wants to supervise, nobody wants to give feedback. Because it's not worth the risk. James stands back up, adds his perspective. I'm a supervisor, been one for 10 years. Used to mentor young guys coming up, teach them the trade. Now I can't risk it. Especially with the women, can't be alone with them. Can't give them feedback without a witness. Can't be the mentor I had because it's too dangerous. Feel anger rising. This is not the narrative I built. If you're worried about harassment claims, maybe examine your behavior. Maybe that's the problem, not the policies. The room erupts, workers standing and talking. CEO steps forward, tries to calm things down. Let's keep this civil, everyone. Tony holds up his hand, quiets his co-workers. That right there, Ms. Rodriguez, that's the problem. We raise legitimate concerns about your policies, about how they're affecting the workplace, and you immediately accuse us of being harassers. That's why we don't trust you, why we don't talk to HR. Mike speaks up again, voice firm. You want to know what's really happening on the floor? Guys are quitting, good experienced workers, taking jobs at other companies for same pay, because they're tired of being made to feel like criminals. Tired of being called privileged while they're risking their lives. Another worker stands, I don't know his name. My buddy worked here 22 years, just left last month. You know what his breaking point was? Your training on toxic masculinity. Oh God, that training, thought it went well. That training was about harmful gender stereotypes, about how rigid masculine norms hurt everyone. He shakes his head. That training told us our natural instincts are toxic. That being protective is controlling. That being stoic is emotionally unavailable. That being competitive is aggressive. Looks around at his coworkers. We work in a factory. We need those traits to survive. Need to be tough. Need to push through pain. Need to compete to get ahead. Need to protect each other. But you tell us that's toxic, that we're the problem. Sarah speaks up again, the woman from quality control. The training told us women are victims who need protection, that we can't handle jokes or criticism, that we need special programs and policies to succeed. I don't want to be treated like I'm fragile. I want to be treated like everyone else. Feel completely overwhelmed, losing control of this. Tony isn't done, steps forward closer to the front. You want to talk about equity? Let's talk about real equity. You make $150,000 sitting in climate-controlled office. I make $54,000 working in dangerous conditions. But I'm the one with privilege because I'm a white man. He's getting more passionate, voice rising. You got a college degree, I've got a high school diploma. You work 40 hours a week, I work 50 to 60 with mandatory overtime. You go home to your nice suburb. I go home to same working class neighborhood I grew up in. But tell me more about my privilege. Mike jumps in, and this leadership program you're announcing. Let's be real about what it is. You're going to take people from the office, people with college degrees, people who already have advantages, and fast-track them into management. He looks at the factory workers, while guys like us who actually know how this place runs, who could be great supervisors and managers, get passed over because we don't fit your diversity metrics, because we're the wrong gender or the wrong color. James adds, I came up through the ranks, took me 20 years, learned every job, proved myself at every level. Now you're going to let people skip all that, just to hit some arbitrary diversity target. Another worker I don't recognize stands up. My son just graduated college, applied for supervisor role here. Got told there's a hiring freeze on white male candidates, that you're prioritizing diversity hires. He's a good kid, smart, hardworking, wants to work in manufacturing. But he can't get hired here because of his skin color. How is that not discrimination? Feel defensive. We don't have a hiring freeze on any demographic. We're just being more intentional about diverse candidates. Tony literally laughs, bitter sound. That's the same thing. You're just using different words. You're discriminating based on race and gender. Just calling it equity instead of discrimination. The CEO tries to intervene again. I think we should take a break, cool down. But the workers aren't done. Energy in the room is intense. Mike speaks up louder. No, we need to finish this. We've been quiet too long, been afraid to speak up. Afraid of being called racist or sexist. Afraid of being reported to HR. Afraid of losing our jobs. But enough is enough. We need to say this. He looks directly at me, everyone watching. Your policies are destroying this workplace, creating division where there used to be unity, making everything about race and gender, when it used to just be about doing good work. Tony adds, we used to be a team down there. Now it's us versus them, men versus women, white versus minority, because your policies encourage people to see themselves as victims, to look for discrimination in every interaction, to weaponize HR against people they don't like. James speaks up, voice sad now instead of angry. I've watched this place change over 32 years. Used to be we all struggled together, all had it hard. Racism was real. I dealt with it, but we worked through it. Built relationships, earned respect, became brothers. He looks at the younger workers. Now the young kids coming already divided, already seeing each other as oppressors and oppressed, already trained by your programs to distrust each other. It's destroying what we built here. Sarah speaks again, her voice shaking with emotion. I'm one of 5 women on my line. We work with 30 guys. They've never treated me differently, never excluded me. They taught me the job, looked out for me, treated me like family. She's crying now, but your trainings tell me they're oppressing me, that they have privilege I don't have, that I should report them if they make me uncomfortable. You're trying to destroy the best work environment I've ever had. Another woman stands, older, maybe 50s. I'm Linda. I've worked here 18 years, assembly line. I raised 3 kids as single mom on this factory wage. These men you're calling privileged, they're my friends. They covered shifts when my kids were sick. They taught me skills so I could get raises. They never once made me feel less than. She's emotional too, voice breaking. But now they won't even talk to me outside of work tasks. Won't joke around, won't have lunch together. Because they're afraid of your policies. Afraid that being friendly will be called harassment. You've destroyed our relationships in the name of protecting us. Feel tears starting. This is overwhelming. Everything I believed, everything I've worked for, being dismantled in front of the entire company. Tony speaks one more time, final statement. Ms. Rodriguez, I don't doubt you mean well. I don't doubt you think you're helping. But you're not. You're hurting us. He gestures to all the factory workers. You're dividing us, making us suspicious of each other. Telling some of us we're victims, telling others we're oppressors. creating policies that discriminate in the name of equity, and destroying the workplace culture that actually worked. The room is completely silent, waiting for my response. CEO is looking at me. Board members are watching. Office workers look uncomfortable. Factory workers are united. Open my mouth. Nothing comes out. All my training, all my education, all my certainty feels useless in the face of their lived experience. Finally managed to speak, voice shaking. I hear what you're saying, all of you. This is clearly not the impact I intended. Tony nods. Intent doesn't matter. Impact does. Isn't that what you taught us in the training? He's right. That's exactly what I taught. Feel the weight of it. My own standards applied to me. I need to think about this, about all of this. I need to reconsider how we're implementing these policies. Mike speaks up. We don't need you to reconsider. We need you to listen to us, to include us. Stop treating us like the problem and treat us like people. James adds, we've been trying to tell you this for years. Through surveys, through feedback, through conversations. But you dismissed us as resistant to change, as privileged people who don't want to give up power. He's right. That's exactly how I've seen them. Resistant, problematic, part of the old guard. Never considered they might have valid concerns. What do you want from me, specifically? The workers look at each other. Tony speaks for them. Pull back on the divisive trainings. Make policies that are actually fair to everyone. Stop treating white men like they're automatically the problem. Stop giving special treatment based on race and gender. Just treat us all equally. Judge us on our work. Sarah adds, and stop making us feel like we need special help. We're strong enough to succeed on our own merit. Your programs make us look weak and incapable. Linda speaks. Bring back the culture where we were just co-workers, where we could be friends without fear, where we trusted each other instead of being divided. The CEO finally steps in decisively. I think we need to adjourn this meeting. Ms. Rodriguez and I will review everything discussed here. We'll schedule follow-up conversations with floor representatives. The workers slowly disperse, still talking among themselves. United in a way I've never seen them before. Office workers leave quietly, looking shell-shocked. I stand at the front, feeling completely defeated. Everything I've built, everything I believed, challenged and dismantled in one meeting. CEO approaches. His face is serious. My office now. We walk in silence. I'm dreading this conversation. Sit in his office. He closes the door. That was a disaster. You know that. I know. I didn't expect. You didn't expect the workers to push back because you've been ignoring them for years. Feel defensive. I've been implementing best practices, industry standard diversity and inclusion initiatives. He leans forward. I hired you to improve culture, but the culture is worse now than it's ever been. We're losing good workers. Productivity is down. Morale is in the toilet. People don't trust each other. Can't argue. The evidence was clear in that meeting. What do you want me to do? I want you to actually listen to the workers. All the workers, not just the ones who agree with you. I want you to build bridges instead of burning them. He pulls out a folder. Shows me numbers. Our turnover in the factory is up 40% since you started these programs. Our safety incidents are up because people are distracted and divided. Our productivity is down because people won't collaborate. Shows me another page. And look at these. Complaints about hostile work environment. All from factory workers, mostly men, saying they feel targeted and discriminated against. Never saw these complaints, didn't know they existed. Why wasn't I told about these? Because I was hoping you'd figure it out on your own, that you'd see what your policies were doing, but you didn't, you doubled down instead. He's right. I've been so certain of my righteousness. The leadership program you announced today, that's on hold indefinitely. We're going to review all your policies and programs. With input from the workers, all the workers. Feel my career crumbling, everything I've built. Are you firing me? He's quiet for a moment, considering. Not yet, but you're on notice. You need to fix what you've broken. Need to rebuild trust with the factory workers. Need to create policies that actually help instead of hurt. Leave his office feeling devastated. Drive home in shock, replaying everything. All those workers standing up, speaking out. Their pain, their frustration, their valid concerns. That I dismissed and ignored for years. That night, can't sleep, keep thinking about it. About Tony working in 105-degree heat for $54,000. About James building relationships I destroyed. About Sarah not wanting to be treated as fragile. About Linda's friendships ruined by my policies. About all the men afraid to mentor, afraid to connect. Because of policies I created to help women. Spend the weekend reading through worker complaints. The one CEO showed me, the ones I never saw. Mandatory training makes me feel like I'm the enemy. Can't be myself at work anymore. Everything is monitored. Afraid to give feedback to women on my team. Programs favor less qualified people over me because of demographics. Page after page of legitimate grievances. From good people who just want to work, who I've been treating as obstacles to progress. Monday morning, request meetings with the workers who spoke up. Start with Tony. He agrees to meet reluctantly. Sit in conference room, just the two of us. Tony, I want to apologize for not listening, for dismissing your concerns, for implementing policies that hurt you. He's guarded, been hurt too many times. What's changed? Why should I believe you now? Because you were right about all of it. About the division, about the impact of my policies. About me treating you like the problem instead of a person. He softens slightly, sees I'm genuine. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to listen, really listen. I'm going to include your perspective in everything we do. I'm going to make policies that are actually fair. Spend an hour talking, really talking, about his job, his life, his experience. About what he needs, what would actually help. About how to build culture that works for everyone. Have similar conversations with Mike, James, Sarah, Linda. Each one teaching me something I didn't know. Each one showing me what I've been missing. Over the next few months, completely restructure HR approach. Pull back divisive trainings, replace with unity-focused ones. Revise policies to be truly fair to everyone. Include worker representatives in all policy decisions. Stop treating demographics as the most important factor. Start treating people as individuals with unique experiences. The leadership program gets completely redesigned. No longer focused on demographics. Focused on identifying talent from all backgrounds. Including factory workers, including men. Including people I previously overlooked. Tony gets nominated, so does Sarah. Both are excellent candidates on merit. Slowly, gradually, culture starts to improve. Workers start talking to each other again. The division starts to heal. People start to trust each other. 6 months after that town hall meeting. Have another one. Show the changes we've made. The workers actually seem hopeful. Tony speaks up again, this time supportive. I want to acknowledge Ms. Rodriguez for actually listening, for actually changing, for being willing to admit she was wrong. The room applauds. I feel tears coming. Thank you all for being honest with me. For having the courage to speak up. For not letting me destroy what you built here. TFW blue-collar workers call you out in company meeting. TFW, they explain how your policies hurt them. TFW, they risk their lives for $54,000 while you make $150,000 and lecture about privilege. TFW factory workers unite against your diversity programs. TFW women workers say they don't want special treatment. TFW men explain they're afraid to mentor because of your policies. TFW, you destroyed workplace culture in the name of equity. TFW CEO puts you on notice for making things worse. TFW, you realize impact matters more than intent. TFW, you have to completely rebuild what you broke. Still believe in fairness and equality. Still think discrimination is real and harmful. Still want to create inclusive workplace. But now understand that includes everyone. That blue-collar workers have real struggles. That class matters as much as race and gender. That men can be discriminated against too.